Welcome to What in the Duck Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck. What in the Duck Podcast is proud to be sponsored by Yellow Rose Canyon, your premier event space and campground nestled in the piney woods of East Texas. With cabins and RV sites available, Yellow Rose Canyon is perfect for your next event, no matter the size. A wedding, reunion, festival, you name it. Check it all out at yellowrosecanyon.com. All right, welcome to another episode of What in the Duck Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck, and today we have another Dallas musician episode. We have Jaret Reddick from the band Bowling for Soup. Also, he has his own solo project of country music. We're going to talk about that and more today here in the booth with Jaret. And I've been hanging out and talking to Jaret quite a bit over the last little bit. He's been getting tattooed. He's doing a lot of cool things. They got new tours. They're kind of busier than ever. And he is just a happy, upbeat guy, and we're happy to have him here on the show. And we're going to start off with answering a couple questions from the Gmail. If you didn't know, you can ask me anything you want. All you got to do is email it over to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. If I answer your question on the show, I will be sending you some cool, free shit from the podcast. Also, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe on all the platforms, and tell your friends. That's what get the words out. You can also become a member of the What in the Duck podcast, just like William Ramsey did. I'm about to read a question from a new podcast member. And thanks for tuning in. We got a lot of cool shit on the horizon. We talked today about some spinoffs. We got spinoffs. You don't know what that means, but you're going to know soon. Or you probably heard about it because this episode is going to be after that episode. So just not in chronological order, but spinoffs. First question of the day. How are you guys doing? Yeah, I'm doing great. All right. Thank you. First question of the day from William Ramsey. Says, Dear Oliver, this is William Ramsey. A new King Duck member of your awesome podcast. I had a question I wanted to ask you. Through all your judging in Ink Master, was there ever a time your critiques taught you to learn something that helped you tattoo better? I know that you have been on the show for so long and have so many tattoos, and I wondered if that ever helped you see things you might do differently or an easier way in tattooing. He says some complimentary stuff about how awesome I am. Thank you for that, William. He says, I feel you can always learn something new with any trade. Thank you for all you do and all the great content. Rock on, brother. Rock on, William. All right. Thank you so much. I will say any craft or any art or any skill, it's a nonstop continuing learning process. And until you die, basically, that's how it goes. So my general everyday life of tattooing at the shop, I like to surround myself with other great artists that I can, we can work off of and inspire each other. But the big thing is traveling and going to other places and tattooing with different people and tattoo conventions and guest spots at shops. You get to experience, a whole nother group of people that have been doing things and learning different things. And so it's just kind of like you kind of learn quicker by exposing yourself to more. So that's why I've been a heavily traveled tattooer most of my career, because I love to get out and I love to sponge it all up. But being on the show with that many tattooers coming in, you get exposed to like an immense amount of stuff you haven't seen in a short amount of time. So it was a very cool experience. And every season, there's, a few standout great tattooers, most of which I knew before, some of which I met when they came on the show, and some people I knew of, but a lot of them I've been friends with for many years before they came on the show. But getting to see them operate and work under those stress situations really makes you evaluate what you would do in that situation. And most of the time, like me and Chris would be like, we'd be screwed. because it's kind of the whole concept of the show is a challenge. So it's basically set up to be difficult. So it is a stressful environment. And I've maintained the idea that I would not operate well in certain aspects of the show. The flash challenge aspect, especially, just because doing something just to do it doesn't suit me. So like to do a flash challenge just to gain an advantage on the dude tattoo, I'd be like, kind of just like, whatever, I can't handle this, or it doesn't seem urgent to me. I just want to do the tattoo. And I've seen, a specific instance where Dave Cruzman on the show, he was phoning it in and didn't care about the flash challenges because he just wanted to do tattoos, and ended up biting him in his ass, and he ended up having to he was on the bottom rung, and then he finally said, fuck it, I'm here, might as well dedicate. And so he put his mind to it and his heart in, and ended up doing well. And you see a lot of people struggle with that through the show, and I don't think there's any way around that struggle. If I was there, I would struggle. No matter who you are, no matter how good you are, one thing, you're going to be in there at some point doing something that's not your thing, and so you're definitely going to struggle. So you get to see that every episode, people really struggling, and you learn just as much from the failures as you learn from the successes. Whether it's your own failure or someone else's failure. If you don't have the ability to learn from somebody else's failure, you're doomed to fail yourself. If you don't have the ability to learn from someone else's successes, you're probably never going to succeed yourself. So you need to be in the environment and soaking up and learning from other people's experiences just as much as you learn from your own, which is some people that are completely do-it-yourself. I'm self-taught. I do it my own way. I don't pay attention to what other people are doing. I'm going to do my thing. They end up getting just stuck in a wormhole and never going anywhere because there's too much out there that you're denying yourself access to. So, the shared growth platform is been proven to work. It works in classroom settings. It works in work environments. It works in a team environment. The strongest teams work together. So tattooing is kind of the same. When you work with a group of people at a shop, if you're in a share experience where you're invested in watching what your coworkers are doing, and vice versa, you're going to learn off each other. So that whole environment. So your question basically is, being on Ink Master, how did that affect me? And it was basically like an ultra concentrated, action-packed portion of time where you see a lot of successes and a lot of failures. And so when you see somebody really struggling and fail at something, you learn, well, I saw somebody fuck that up like that, so I'm not going to fuck that up like that. And then you see somebody else pull something out of their hat and fucking knock it over the fence. You're like, now I have that trick in my back pocket as well. So there's constant learning experience. And I think the people that I stay in touch with that were on the Ink Master show, that's one of the things we talk about is the experience of being there. Everybody learns so much. And it kind of, towards the later seasons, it kind of became apparent that was happening. And so a lot of younger tattooers came on the show with the mindset that they were there to learn, which was kind of crazy because you're supposed to already be here to win. But a lot of younger tattooers, every season there's a couple of younger tattooers that were inexperienced, and they were there to get that experience all at once, which it did work for some people, and it's not the way I would have thought the show was intended, but it did end up being like an intense training course for a lot of people on the show. It also became, for a lot of very well-experienced tattooers, it became a very humbling, eye-opening experience. That you still gotta put it in the fire to fucking bend it. So you still gotta fucking put yourself through the struggles to fucking succeed. I feel very lucky for my time on the show and experience all I did. And as far as any specific instances, there's too many to name, but just being able to watch so many successes and failures back to back, day in, day out for 13 seasons. I think anybody that was involved in that for any amount of time walked away highly benefiting from the experience, myself included. I hope that answers the question. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool thing to be a part of, and it's pretty intense. And people ask all the time about if the show is really as intense as it was, or if it was just fake for TV or all that shit. But I'm telling you that the artists that went on there, they were put to the test. Like emotionally, physically, living in that house, dealing with all the things, operating on a timeline, having to do all these crazy challenges, do things that they've never done before, and then expected to perform at their peak performance. Even the best tattooers have slip-ups in there. And so it's pretty cool to watch it. And as always, I remind everybody, it is a game show. So it is set up to be such, you know. It is not really set up on this perfect fair, you know, everybody gets a fair shake kind of thing. It's like they definitely fuck with you and put you through the ringer of all reality-based shows. Notice I said reality-based. Not completely reality, but, you know. But we were not scripted, and we did say whatever the fuck we wanted, and the artists really did have to do what they had to fucking do, and they really did have a time limit. And, you know, I think that I did my job and the right person won every time, and I'll stand by it. I love debating that, though. I love debating when people say, well, so-and-so should have won. I'm like, well, you're wrong, because they didn't. If you were right, they would have won. All right. Next question to the What in the Duck podcast at Gmail. That's right. If you want to ask me a question, you can just send it over to whatintheduckpodcast at gmail.com. If I answer your question on the show, we will be sending you some free shit. So that last question, William Ramsey, you're already a King Duck member. You're already getting free shit. So guess what? More free shit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all our subscribers and members. If you're not a member yet, it's not too late. Next question from Terry Underhill. Says, hey, love the podcast. Was curious about how you go about selecting the tattooers to invite to Elm Street Tattoo Fest. I call it Elm Fest. He said, thanks, and keep on trucking. We will. We will keep on trucking. For those of you that may or may not know, Elm Street Tattoo has their own small little tattoo convention we put on every year. This year coming up will be the 13th Elm Fest. It's in the spring, May time, and it's very small, and it has kind of gradually evolved to be even smaller. I think we honed it into just the right amount. It's 20, 28 or so tattooers, little, sometimes 30, but 27, 28, 29 tattooers. I think we've come up with 27 or 28 is the perfect number to fit in the venue we're at now. 28 if a couple of people are really friendly and don't mind being too close to each other. 27 if everybody has enough room to actually do what they need to do. We did have it at a few other venues over the course of the years where there was a little more room, and there was like 40 tattooers at one point. But at the current venue, we like the most at Trees on Elm Street because, A, it's on Elm Street. We're on Elm Street. It's Elm Fest. It's Elm Street. So there you go. We're going to stick there as long as we can. The great people at Trees have a great venue, and they treat us right, and we love it. But as far as how I selected tattooers, it is invite-only show. It is curated to have a bunch of like-minded individuals. So one year's lineup is different from another year's lineup because one person leads to inviting another person and, kind of make it cohesive. And I also try to mix it up every year. One of my goals for Elm Fest is to have a handful of tattooers that have never come and tattoo in Dallas before come to the show. So there's something new for the Dallas tattoo community that, we've got a couple of people, well-known tattooers from around the world that have never come to Dallas before. So kind of that's kind of one of my first things right off the bat when I start the lineup is I start reaching out to people and try to get some new faces. Some people I know, or maybe I know through a friend or, or know of. And I've made a lot of great new friends by inviting them to Elm Fest. And then there's my cast of tried and true, regular favorite people that are my favorite tattooers that I try to revolve around. I try to get Scott Sylvia and Danny Reed and people to come out, but not every year. Try not to have the same lineup every year. So, Danny came last year, not going to come this year, or came this year, not going to come next year, kind of thing. I have had a lot of feedback and a lot of back and forth because a lot of tattooers that I'm friends with, they come, they love it, they want to come back, and then I don't invite them the next year, and they get all butthurt, and I say, hey, man, I'm trying to mix it up, not just trying to be cool, so maybe you can come next year, come every other year kind of thing, mix it up. And, I've got a lot of good response from that, and a lot of my friends that are tattooers are cool, and they understand, and then some just are still butthurt because they want to come. But the exception to the rule is Greg Christian, because Greg Christian does come pretty much every single year, and he's the guy that I travel and tattoo with the most. And so if you're jealous that Greg gets to come every year, you're just going to have to stay that way. I do know that Greg is coming back 2026 to the 13th annual Elm Fest. But as far as the rest of the lineup, I'm working on it. And, I will guarantee that it's going to be a great lineup. It's going to be a great lineup of great tattooers from all over, and try to get a good mix of well-rounded tattooers that don't use the dildo. It is a no dildo zone show. So, that does pigeonhole us out of a handful of people. There are a lot of really great tattooers that have turned over to the dark side. I've even had a very specific tattooer, a good friend of mine, who has been invited to Elm Fest, but has had an emergency and not been able to make it a couple of years. Pseudo, seemingly suspicious emergencies that I don't really believe. I believe the true culprit is the fear of not being able to use his dildo. He claims he can still use a real tattoo machine, but has not been seen using one in quite some time. He's also tried to rally some support in his favor from other friends to back him up, and those friends have not backed him up. Those friends have said no, he does not use a real tattoo machine. He has not used a real tattoo machine. The people that work with him have said no, he just only, and that leads me to this conspiracy that he has canceled his attendance at Elm Fest due to the fact that he was afraid that he would not be able to bring his dildo. All these people will remain nameless. There are some people out there that know this story, and you know who I'm talking about. And it might be more than one person I'm talking about. A couple people. But if you don't know about Elm Fest, middle of May. Oh, wait. I take it back. The date has altered. Are we 100% on the date? Do I remember the date? It's the end of April. I'm gonna do something I try not to do here on the podcast. I'm gonna pull my phone out and see if that's even gonna help. Yep. New dates for Elm Fest. Exciting. This is exciting update. April 10th, 11th, 12th. We moved it up because our friends at Trees had some other events, and we just wanted to work together well and pick a right time that was good for everybody. It works out good for us because we had some other events in Dallas that were like the previous and following weekend, so it made a pretty hectic 3-week turnaround. So this year, April 10th, 11th, 12th, Elm Fest. Look forward. Soon we'll be announcing all the great artists that are coming to it. And I think that's it. We also have a lot of cool bands playing at Elm Fest, a lot of cool music, and it's just a good time. World's smallest tat show is what we claim. There might be another smaller one out there, but smaller is better. Bigger isn't always better. Smaller can be good. With the small group of tattooers, it's really intimate feel. Everyone knows each other. Everyone gets to know each other if they don't know each other. It's kind of like what's that fucking restaurant? Buca de Beppo. It's kind of like the Buca de Beppo of fucking tattoo conventions because it's like family style. It's everybody at one table kind of thing. Instead of a big convention room with a bunch of separate booths with a big border between everybody and everybody's got their own setup, this is just one big long table of all tattooers sharing family style. So that's what I like about it. And apparently other people seem to like it too. I haven't been to Buca de Beppo in a long time. I don't know if it's even still exists or not. Who knows? Well, stay tuned because coming up in just 1 minute, right here in the booth, we got Jaret Reddick from Bowling for Soup. And he's a very lively, funny guy. And I'm stoked to have him. And thank you all guys. Thank you guys all for tuning in, liking, subscribing, and sharing. Here we go. What in the Duck Podcast is proud to be sponsored by Dream Machines of Texas. All of your used motorcycle wants and needs all in one place at dreammachinesoftexas.com. They have multiple locations, large inventory, and get new bikes in every week. Knowledgeable staff with great service, financing and extended warranty options available. They also have a complete service garage so every bike is gone through and brought up to speed before you hit the road. I've bought more than a few bikes from Dream Machines over the years, and I could not be more satisfied. I have also had friends from all over the country buy bikes because they couldn't find a better deal anywhere. You can buy a bike and have it shipped to you anywhere in the U.S. Why buy a brand new bike with that brand new high price when you can get a like-new bike with that dream deal you've been looking for? Go to dreammachinesoftexas.com and get a bike and get your ass on the road. Welcome to another episode of What in the Duck Podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck, and today I'm in the booth with my buddy, Jaret Reddick.
Yeah.
Sometimes known as Jaret Ray Reddick.
Right. Well, that's actually my name, which was great because when I decided to do the country thing, Jaret Ray Reddick just already sounds country.
Yeah. Or even Ray Reddick sounds real country.
Yeah, my grandpa's name was Raymond Levon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Dude.
That's like a soulful name right there.
That's a good name, right? Raymond Levon Singleton, that's a good country name. Yeah, if I ever need an alt ego, I'll just take his name.
Singleton's a good country last name,
yeah,
too.
It is good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of, because you have singles and hopefully you have a ton of them, but yeah, I'm kind of back to just using Jaret Reddick now because, again, as I was telling you earlier, Bowling for Soup's gotten so busy again that I kind of am having to put
multiple big tours this year.
Yeah, and it's like 31 years in, and so all of a sudden, a lot of this stuff that I was doing as, extra things or extra side hustles or whatever, the country thing, which was going great, is going great. I have 4 more shows at the end of the year with the Toadies. But I just don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of topics to talk about. Since we already tapped into the country deal, I just wanted to, I wanted to ask you a bunch of questions about that. And
yeah.
I don't know how much you've interviewed about the country stuff before or not.
Yeah, let's go.
But from my perspective, we are in a unique demographic of kids that grew up in the 80s, getting into punk rock in Texas, but were raised on country.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you see a lot of these punk rock people that are getting old. Not that we're getting old.
We're getting old, bro.
Getting old.
Yeah.
And getting into country music. And a lot of punk rockers have done it, but you don't see a lot of like DC punkers getting into country music.
Yeah, you see, like, it's some of the rock guys are moving to Nashville and kind of trying to do it from that avenue. For me, it was just something I felt like it was organic and was something I was always gonna do. I mean, I do have Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings tattooed on me, and
you're a Texas guy.
I'm a Texas guy, and I grew up listening to, again, I'm 53, so when my parents had music on in the car, that's what we listened to. So it was Waylon and Willie and Dolly and Kenny and the Eagles, but also Donna Summer and Neil Diamond, and so it was vast, but yet very country leaning. And to me, those were the songs that I gravitated towards. I love the storytellers, and so even not only just in the stuff that I do as country. If you even think about Bowling for Soup, like late at night, Monday night, and I'm waiting.
A lot of storytelling,
and that to me is like that Kenny Rogers, Willie Nelson influence.
You also have a lot of nostalgic themes thrown into your lyrics too.
Yeah. So, well, because I'm an 80s kid, and I feel like 80s we just had the best movies, we had the best music. It was such a carefree time.
We just watched Brewster's Millions the other night.
What a movie, man.
And Audra's never seen it before.
Oh man.
And it's a perfect, I think it's like 85.
Yeah.
It's a perfect 80s movie. It's like, and it's a funny movie.
It
holds up.
It really is, and you don't get diddly. It's funny because so my wife is quite a bit younger than me. And so there's a lot of those movies that she hasn't seen from my time. And then I left to go on tour in, 95. And so I missed a bunch of like the 90s and early 2000s movies. And so we'll go back and revisit. So I'll show her Arthur, and then she'll show me A Beautiful Mind, and that it's a fun exploration in things that, like, I do feel like I missed quite a bit. But that culture is so important to me. All of the John Hughes movies, I love to sing about that, but I speak movie. I mean, like, I just did you who could do a Brewster's Millions quote on command? Like I
Rupert.
Just
Uncle Rupert.
Gosh, man, you remember that movie, The Toy?
Oh, yeah.
Pryor did? It's so good.
Look right there on the wall. My favorite. Growing up, Richard Pryor.
No way, man. So that's something I say anytime somebody's like, I mean, let me grab a camera. I'm like, well, you got a Kodak. You hadn't even taken it out of the box. Like, I love it, man. But yeah, nostalgia's important to me, for sure.
Well, I think the 80s, it's great to romanticize our own personal plight through exploration of music and stuff because, our era, the 80s. But, man, I really think that that's for my generation, that's the golden era of entertainment.
Everything. It's the golden era of, and it's think about, like, also like how dynamic it was. We had hair metal and hip hop and new wave and punk rock and all and really country becoming very, very commercially successful at the time or whatever. All these things were happening at the same time. And so music was just big and movies were big. And
the way you found out about music was a personal journey.
That's right.
It wasn't just, you didn't just open your phone and learn about it every morning when you woke up.
You had to, a friend had to play it for you, and you couldn't just go to I'm from Wichita Falls, Texas. I talk about this a lot in my tours I give a lot of tours at the Punk Rock Museum in Vegas, and I talk about it a lot about how the music that I wanted, even when I was listening to metal, wasn't available to me. So you had to get that hand me down, or you had to order it somehow, and so there was so much of kids sitting in their bedrooms just playing songs for each other.
Yeah.
And I remember so many things. I remember hearing Jane's Addiction for the first time, and I remember hearing Motley Crue for the first time, and which bedroom I was in of which friend, or their older brother or older sister,
Well, I tell the story a bunch about how we just learned about one band and they were on SST Records, and then we just got in the back of the magazine and just ordered SST. If it was a band on SST, we would just order the tape.
This is so crazy. You just said that. That is a big part of my tour at the museum, because what happened is you started to trust the labels.
Yes.
And in a sense, some of the labels, SST,
Discord,
Sub Pop, the labels became bigger than the bands. you trusted the label as much as you did any of the bands that were on the label. And so if you were like, if I like Cruise Records, so I liked All, right?
Yeah.
Well, then I got Skin Yard, and I got Chemical People, and I got everything that they had
Chemical
on there.
People.
What a band, right? Goodness
good.
gracious, so good, so good.
And I learned about them because they were on the same label.
Yeah,
and you just ordered the tape.
you did.
And there was like me and my 5 skateboarder friends from Fort Worth that we would like, let's order these 4 tapes. It's like $3.99 a tape. It's going to be $18. I got 4. How much you got?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we'd all chip in money and order these tapes. And then we'd all
$5.99
dub them to each other.
Yeah.
That was exciting times.
Man, it's that's a big part of my, about my spiel when I talk about, punk rock back then, because, you couldn't, like I said, you couldn't just go to the store and buy it unless you lived in LA or Seattle or, and so, great times. I mean, I remember like when I first found punk, cause I was a metal kid for so long. And then when I found punk rock, and then all of a sudden it was like 7 inches were big. And it was just like, I haven't had a record player in 5 years, which to me at the time was an eternity.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like now everybody's just like, let me get you this vinyl or whatever. I'm like, hey, okay. Yeah, but I still don't have a record player.
Yeah. I remember the first time we, got in some older guy's car and drove to Dallas and went to Bill's Records and Tapes.
Man, yeah.
And we were just like, they have Fire Hose CD in the rack. Like, here it is. Like, before that, the only thing I ever got was a secondhand dub thing of Fire Hose, or you go see Fire Hose and buy the tape at this show. Yeah. But the fact that they had it on the rack was just like, wow. And they had everything, you know what I mean? But
oh God, how good is that Iffen record, man? It's just
it's one of the best.
Oh, it's so good. So good, man. Bill's record. So my intro to Bill's Records and Tapes is that I had, as I said, music had become my whole life. And, so my mom would bring us down shopping every year. And she would take my brother to the Galleria. He would go to the Ralph Lauren store and Banana Republic and all of that. And then we would leave there and drive all the way down Inwood to Bill's Records and Tapes. And I would just go in there, and that's where I did my school shopping, because he also had
T-shirts
and stuff, and all that stuff. But, no prices on anything. He just told you how much it was when you got up there.
He was an interesting character.
He was indeed. Yeah.
And the price was definitely fluctuatable between who was asking.
I think that was definitely so. And the cash register was his pocket.
My God.
I mean, just what was crazy though is that
all 7 inches are $3.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's $10.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're so right. Oh man, and just the fact that he even had any idea what was in there, because it was chaos.
Yeah, he was a huge Beatles collector.
Yeah.
He had he had all eras of music, and he knew everything.
Yeah.
It was insane.
So when we got signed to Jive, so we had been at it since '94, and our first album came out on Jive in 2000. And I was already living in Louisville with my ex, and the day that it came out, as ceremoniously, we drove down to Bill's Records and Tapes so I could go in and buy my CD at Bill's Records and Tapes the first day that it came out. There was a method to the madness back then though, because it was an independent store, so you got 5 scans. So it was like if you bought one at Best Buy, you only got credit for 1. But if you bought, it's again, we're trying to fluff the numbers a little bit back then. But still, going in there and buying my own CD, because the local ones were all in there, but going in there and buying my CD that was in everywhere was just the coolest experience, and buying it from him too, was really cool.
Every little pocket around the country had their own version of that, and it's just, Fort Worth doesn't have any place you could buy even Doc Martens,
Right.
you had to come to Moda in Dallas, just stuff like that. But growing up on the south side of Fort Worth, there was, like I said, in high school, there was 6 or 8 of us that were punk rock skateboarders, and that was it.
Yeah.
We just got lucky to meet some older punk rockers, and
Yeah, I mean, Wichita
Trickle
Falls.
down, trickle down.
Wichita Falls.
Even smaller.
Yeah. So small. And I mean, most everybody were kickers and like actually wore their cowboy outfits to school and stuff. You know?
Outfits.
Yeah. And, you know, there was, 10 metal kids and like 5 skaters. And we were all kind of like one clique, you know? And that another thing that I love about that time in music is that you had bands like Minor Threat and Agnostic Front and Suicidal Tendencies that sort of crossed into both. So, you know, metal kids liked this and the skateboard kids liked this too, you know, and then you found this common ground. And then hip hop came out and we all liked it. So it was like the world was really opening up. I mean, I remember NWA you know, Public Enemy and Anthrax really opened that door for us, you know, after Run DMC and Aerosmith. And you know, and then so I remember being that NWA record and just being like, this is the fucking greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like I you know, this is groundbreaking, you know?
It was definitely groundbreaking. I never fell into the hip hop plan.
No.
I liked pretty much, boiled it down. I like guitar driven music.
Yeah.
I like punk rock. I like country. I like regular rock. I mean, old school rock and roll. I like heavy metal.
Yeah.
I don't really like it when it goes too far to metal side.
Yeah.
Like the Sepultura is way too far for me.
Yeah.
But the Iron Maiden,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like heavy metal, you know, real heavy metal, not just metal. Once they dropped the word heavy and it was just metal,
Yeah.
it lost me.
I get that. You know, I mean, when I was a kid, I liked Sepultura and Obituary and Deicide and Death and all of that. I was in a band that played that stuff until I heard the Descendants. And then the Descendants.
The melody is what I love.
Yeah,
and
that's
Descendants
just
is
it.
like a heavy melody band.
That was the thing, is that I was into all this heavy stuff, and you couldn't write those songs without a medical dictionary, you know, because every word needed to have 8 syllables,
Yeah.
you know, and so, you know, and I heard the Descendants for the first time, and I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's singing, they're playing fast, the guitars are loud,
Yeah.
and they're singing about girls and farts.
Yeah, you can
Like-
definitely see the Descendants influence in Bowling for Soup.
Everything. So, you know, I think every pop punk guy that's, you know, in my, you know, I would say those us dinosaurs, you know, all of the what do you call it? The pioneers of this pop punk thing. We will all say that the Descendants created all this, and we just pretty much borrowed it here, borrowed a little here, borrowed a little bit here, and then, you know, made our own form of it. And, you know, it was interesting because I don't think any of us really knew that it was going on when it was happening, because, you know, there's this little pocket over here in California. There's just us in Texas, little pocket in Florida, little pocket in DC, you know, and then by 2003, 2004, we were all over everything.
Yeah.
It was wild.
I mean, I think I was probably 14-ish when I got introduced to the Descendants, and it was just like, that's the time.
Yeah.
If you're 13, 14, 15, 16,
Yeah.
you hear that music, that's your time for that music.
Yeah.
And I tell people, and I relate to this when other people like a certain band, and I'm like, you were 14 when you heard it. You know what I mean? Because I was 30 when I heard it, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if I would have been 14 when I heard shit that came out in the 90s, then I'd probably love that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. I
Yeah.
was older, and it was past my time.
So I think that's a scientific thing. Like, I think that they've proved that it's like,
Yeah,
this,
when
the
you're
music
when you're
between this
coming of
certain
age.
like, and that's like my brother, you know, it's like he still pretty much only listens to AC/DC because he was a teenager when Back in Black came out.
Imagine if you were 13 or 14 when you heard Back in Black.
That he was.
I know
Yeah.
that would be the greatest thing. It's still one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
But to me, it was something I grew up with.
Yeah.
And then something I've just known my whole life, and it's one of my favorites. But it wasn't mine.
Right.
I didn't discover it at the same time that I was like bursting out of my shell. You know what I mean?
So for me, that was Motley Crue, Rat, even it was those bands, Motley Crue, Rat. I was going to say later Skid Row, and, you know, it was that whole movement was really big for me. Whitesnake. But, you know, I loved Motley Crue and Rat so much. And, you know, that was my
I think Rat's
14-year-old.
one of the best bands of that genre.
100%. I mean, like, arguably the best guitar player.
But people always say you know, they always lean towards the Motley Crue. They always lean towards, you know, because they had like Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Skid Row. They had the famous frontman.
They had the image,
and nobody knew the names of any of the members of the band of Rat. So they just levitated towards the recognizable. But the music, Rat is the best one of them.
Stephen Pearcy, the singer, was actually a better songwriter than all of those guys.
All of them.
And you know, and it's one of those things where, and what's crazy is he can still do it. You know, he's out there touring now with Warren, the guitar player, and they sound great. It's awesome. And you know, but yeah, I do agree. They just had such great songs. But you know, that genre just got so lost in itself, and then of course Nirvana came through and just swept the floor with everybody, and it was over. But you know, but that would be my teenage years. And then but then again, hearing Descendants, I mean, I was 18 and going into college, and that was the point where, like, I think my life just changed.
Yeah.
You know, like and it did. Like, all of a sudden I was, you know, because I was going to go to college and be a corporate psychologist, and, you know, I have 2 degrees, but by the time I got out of it, by the time I got out of it, all I wanted to do was play punk rock. You know, like, I was just like, this is what I want to do.
And probably what your natural voice and singing voice, definitely what you realize, like, I can do this.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I can sing like this.
And I wasn't a singer. I was a drummer first. And you're exactly right. Like, I was trying to sing all this death metal and all of this crazy shit. And I could pull off like Testament and, you know, bands like that where the singer could actually sing. But, you know, it was like things like Slayer were, not that he can't sing. I didn't mean that, but it's different. You know, it's a different whole
I don't know if they're singing.
It's a whole different thing.
Making noise for sure.
Where you come from, you know, in your throat and your belly and all that. And, you know, I'm a theater kid, so I know how to breathe. And then I sort of I just figured out how to sing. And then once, like I said, and as you said, you know, once the Descendants, and then I heard Green Day, and I'm like, oh, I can sing this, you know. And my voice is weird, though. I mean, it's like my range has gotten better as I get older. So I can sing like all that metal stuff that I couldn't sing when I was younger, I can sing now. But it doesn't really do me any good. Except karaoke night. Oh man, I will slay some Skid Row.
So you love to do karaoke?
Man, I love it, and my wife's real good at it too.
I know a lot of people that are in bands that kind of almost refuse karaoke.
I'm the anti that. I also love piano bars.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love them. Like, a piano bar is one of my favorite things. That I am so, like, I'm a musician, I guess, but I'm really a businessman, and you know, and I'm a musician in that, like, I play music and I write songs, but like, I don't know theory, and I don't know all of the, you know, the intricacies of chord structure and all that. So I'm amazed, like, when you go to a piano bar, like, it's like me watching a magician when they just are like, and then somebody just shouts out a song and they just start playing it.
But they don't even stop the song they're playing.
No.
They just blend right into the next.
And it goes, and then the other guy just starts playing another song, and you're just like, I am so amazed by it. I am like a kid at those things. And I mean, and again, it's the antithesis of.
Did you ever go to the one in the West End in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
It was called, I can't remember the name of it. It was right across the street from the Level 5, from the Planet Hollywood.
From the Fudge Factory or whatever. Yeah.
What was the name of it? I can't remember.
I can't remember what it was either.
That was like a wild party every night.
Fun. Yeah. I mean, man, Pete's gets crazy too sometimes, man. It's been a long time, but yeah, I like karaoke. And you know, I like to go, and you know, sometimes people, you know, will fuck with me a little bit. We were in New Orleans one time, and I had like chosen a song, and then I would say, friend of a friend went up and paid the guy to switch the song to 1985, and I got up and it was 1985, and I'm kind of up there, so I had to sing it, but I was kind of bummed out because it was just like, you know, that's not really what I'm here to do, you know. But I did real good though. I sang it well.
I nailed it.
I nailed it. I mean, you know,
you didn't have to read the lyrics off the screen.
No, not even once. I did not. But
Oh my God. So we just had a karaoke debacle a couple weeks ago at our at the Porn Free Show at our place out East Texas. And they're at Friday night, they're like, we're doing karaoke. And then in the last minute, they're like, Oliver, you're running karaoke, right? And I'm just like, I'm not prepared. I mean, what do we got? So I get up there and I try to do it off a phone, and then we finally get a laptop and we get it working or whatever, and it's going pretty well. But the crowd, it was a late night, heavily drinking crowd. And so the crowd was like, I mean, somebody played a rocking song in the crowd. There was mosh pits in the bar. And then somebody came up and they wanted to sing a song. And I'm like, hey. I'm like, to the side. Everybody's waiting. And I'm like, you should pick a different song.
Yeah.
This is a party. People are going crazy. And the guy's drunk.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's going to kill.
Okay.
I'm going to kill it. I'm like, dude, I don't think so. He goes, they're going to love it. I'm like, they're going to hate it. You should pick a different song. And I was like, I love this song. I love this band. But this is not the time. And he was like belligerent. So I was like, fine.
Okay.
I push play. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Of course, yeah.
And the crowd's like, "Burn!"
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
And the crowd's like raging and throwing beer. And the guy's like, what the fuck? He's mad at them and me. And I stopped the song. I'm like, sorry, bro.
Yeah, we tried to tell you.
Next lady comes up. I'm like, what do you want to sing? She's like, I'm like, you should pick a different song.
Oh, no, Sweet Caroline.
Did you not see what just happened? She's like, they're going to love it. And I'm like, again, this is a great song. You should go home and listen to it by yourself.
Yeah.
And then she sang a real slow Fleetwood Mac song. And first note, before she even the song starts, before she even starts singing, the crowd starts screaming boo. Yeah. And so from then on, it was just Metallica and Misfits and Korn and
because they don't give a shit about this thing. You're not at a karaoke bar, like those two would have been fine at karaoke night
at the Goat on Sunday night,
at whatever, right? That would have been great, and that's when they do want to hear that song. Somebody does Italian Restaurant and shit and Piano Man every single night, right? And somebody does Did You Ever Know That You're My Hero?
Oh my God.
Every single night, but that's not the place for it.
So I don't know if you know Josh Hammer Times or not, but me and Josh Hammer Times hosted karaoke for like 10 years. And started at Billiard Bar, went to Double Wide, went to Twilight Lounge. We hosted karaoke for years. And it's every night.
Yeah.
The same songs.
100%.
And we finally, after a few years, we're just like, we start off like, these songs are banned.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you cannot sing Four Non Blondes.
Yeah.
Because 5 girls want to sing it every single night.
Yeah.
And then every single night, right when the party is the highest,
right.
A drunk woman wants to force her unwilling husband to do the duo from Grease with her.
I was going to say
and
Summer Nights.
It's not going to be good.
Right. Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to do it.
He doesn't want to do Summer Nights. He doesn't want to do Islands in the Stream. Just leave the man alone.
I'm like, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
It's not going to be good.
It's always, and then there's the group of there's the gaggle of the girls from the bachelorette party that get up there, and only one of them knows the song. Yeah. But everybody needs to try to be on the microphone. That happens every
night. Hey, night. And we hosted karaoke on Wednesday nights, and I would say at least 50 to 60% of the time there was a bachelorette party there.
100%. Yeah, that's what you do, right? Gosh, have you been to Nashville lately?
I think there's a bachelor party every 10 minutes in Nashville.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it is like, and not only are they're mobile now, so they're rolling around on these carts and shit.
They come from coast to coast to go to Nashville. It is the bachelorette party destination.
And they just they're intermingling with each other, and they just walk by. I'm just like, it was so funny. I was telling my wife about this. That you walk down the street and a bachelor party or a bachelorette party passes another bachelorette party, and every single time you hear some girl go, "Oh my God, you're so pretty." And I go, man, girls are nice to each other there, but everywhere else, y'all are fucking mean to each other. You know what I mean? Like, what is it about that particular day of your life where you're just like, you know what? Today, I'm not going to make anybody cry. I'm going to get out there and make somebody smile today. You're so pretty.
I'm personally not a fan of the current Nashville status.
I don't know how you could be. I mean, good for Nashville.
Zero grit.
Mm.
No grit left.
It's funny. My friend Dave Rose was doing a TikTok from there the other day, and he's looking around and he just goes, "You just know that somewhere in this town right now, that some magical song is being written that's going to change the world." And I'm looking at my phone and I'm going, "Do we know that? Do we?
You just know.
I mean, is that happening there right now? Like all of the, it's so infiltrated now with just like, again, I mean, broken dreams and shit, you know? And then of course there's just the Bachelor, and then
just corporate money.
The bars are all, it's like
corporate money.
The star of the day has his own bar already, you know? And it's just, you know, I don't know. I'm sure it's fun.
I'm sure it's fun.
I go to the, you know, I guess there's other places where, you know, because my buddies in Lit live there, and Zach Malloy lives there and stuff. And so I'm fairly lucky when I do go to Nashville. I just go wherever they tell me to go and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's bachelorette parties are very popular there.
The first time I went to Nashville, it seemingly had that lure of the country magic.
Yeah.
And now it's like a Las Vegas version of itself.
It is. Yeah, I mean, even to the point where like you go into the bar and like the merch area is more important than the bar itself. Like they're selling more T-shirts than they are drinks.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty wild. But, you know, what are you going to do?
What's the song Hank Williams wouldn't have made it in Nashville today?
Right. Yeah, that's a great song.
It is a great song. Man. Well, back off of Nashville.
Let's get out of Nashville.
Man. You grew up in Wichita Falls.
I did.
And got into punk rock. But you were into metal before you were into punk rock.
Yeah, metal kid first. It was I could basically tell you, you know, music has changed my life 3 times.
Yeah.
And the first time is one of those stories that over time has evolved into not as good of a story, because the first time music changed my life was when Greg Norman, this kid in the 5th grade, brought a Walkman to school and played me Crazy Train for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, that story was awesome through the 90s and all of that. But the problem is now, me telling that to my children or to their friends or to kids that come and see Bowling for Soup, I'm like, yeah, Crazy Train saved my life. They're like, the song from the Trolls movie? The song that's in all the car commercials that we hear at every football game ever, you know? And they just don't know how.
And what's the big deal about somebody bringing a Walkman to school? Like, everybody's got it on their phone.
Right. Well, yeah. And
there's nothing special about that.
What they don't know is that Ozzy was so beloved at the end of his life and through the, you know, the TV show and stuff. Everybody forgets that dude was so scary that Marilyn Manson would have been scared of him in the 80s,
yeah.
You know? But I will never forget it as long as I live. The All Aboard thing hits, that bass drum, that I. And then when that guitar comes in, just the and I'm just like, I don't know what this is. And then I was so scared of the man, and when I heard him sing, it wasn't scary. It actually really, like, it was this warm thing in my heart. And so that's the first time. At that point, I was like, I went over to his house after school, and his brother was a drummer and had a drum set in his room and Rush posters on the wall. And I was like, I guess this is just what I do now.
Yeah.
So I asked for a drum set for Christmas, and music had started. And so, yeah, Ozzy sort of was my, I mean, again, I think up until that point, the Von Erichs were my entire life.
Yeah. And
after I heard Ozzy Osbourne, it was basically Ozzy Osbourne was my entire life.
How fucked up is that movie, dude?
Which one?
The Von Erich movie.
It's fucking, they nailed it, man.
Yeah.
They nailed it. I mean, you know, if you're like me, it's like you watch like the music biopics or whatever. I think you talked about this while we were getting tattooed once about, it's like, if you're a purist, you know, you try not to be a gatekeeper, but it's like when you see the Queen movie, it's like the songs are out of order and shit. Like the what they play in New York, it wasn't even a song yet and stuff. But like, you got to let them tell the story. And so the fact that they sort of like wrote a whole brother out of the movie and all of that stuff, and then some of the stuff they combine characters. But that being said, I think they did a really good job.
We went to see it when it came out at the Alamo, and we're buying the tickets. And the guy behind the counter selling the ticket goes, "Yeah, they left the brother out." As we're buying the ticket, I'm like, "Well, okay."
Yeah, they had.
Should I not go see it?
They left him out, and then they put Kevin's kids in the wrong order because he actually had a daughter first.
It might have been too sad to add another dead brother.
That's what I think too. I honestly believe that. I think it became almost unbelievable. Like if he committed suicide as well, so you have another brother that commits suicide, people would walk out of there going, "Well, that was ridiculous. There's no way a family could be that unlucky."
It's like, you know, when they built the what's it called? It's not the, damn it, is it called the Hurricane? The big roller coaster at Six Flags, one of the last when they built 20 years ago or whatever.
Oh.
It's like it was the biggest in the world at the time.
Giant?
After the Giant, the
Okay.
Titan or
Titan,
whatever.
that's it.
So they built that and they test rode it, and people were passing out at a certain point. So they had to install brakes to slow it down for a second to give people time for their blood to come back to their brain before they hit back in.
Right.
It's like that movie would have pushed people over the edge.
Yeah.
It already was like just devastating.
It was, and man, it was hard. That movie. So again, I will say this: my love for the Von Erichs was very deep. I mean, I like had their pictures on my wall and shit.
And you had, as a kid, you thought they were like living the dream, the happiest people in the world.
And I honestly, I did. I mean, you wanted to be them, and so that movie fucked me up for like 3 days. Like I wasn't okay. Like I really, because that phone call when Carrie makes the phone call, from the hotel or whatever, because Carrie was my guy, and man, it just seemed so real. And I didn't know as a kid that he was going through all that. To me, he was just, they were larger than life. They were on top of the world. They were rock stars.
Yeah. And, you have this now that with the way media is now, you know a lot more about people's personal lives.
100%.
And in the 80s and 90s, like nobody knew. Everybody just had this assumption that Robin Williams is the happiest person in the world.
Sure.
And then when he kills himself, you're just like, wait a minute. How's the happiest guy in the world kill himself?
That's twofold. So, A, getting into mental health is obviously very important to me, and I would love to talk more about that. But, with wrestlers, even with musicians, now we know that they play characters. We didn't know that back then. I mean, I literally thought wrestling was real. My brother would tell me that it was fake or
You're
whatever.
Like, no way, dude. Not the Von Erichs.
Yeah, no, it's real. But even then, you thought like that, that those storylines were. But now, of course, it's bigger than ever, wrestling.
But it's also more obviously outside the box now.
Yes, exactly.
It was slightly more believable when we were children.
Yes.
Even though we were kids, we were gullible. It wasn't as over. I mean, it's gone crazy.
The craziest things we had were Kabuki and the Missing Link. You know what I mean? Like it was just, he sprays paint out of his mouth and then they're poisoned forever. And then Kabuki and then Kamala the Ugandan giant or whatever. Remember Terry Gordy went to the Orient and came back with the ultimate spike, and all. It was the only thing that could defeat the Claw. And you're just like, damn it, we've got to get one of our guys over to the Orient, and you believed it was real, but it's just, it's crazy. And, now being somebody that, I know a bunch of the wrestlers and stuff. We have a song about Alexa Bliss, and again, they're just, you see pictures of them backstage with their kids hanging out with the person that they're going to fight. And, it's definitely a lot different.
The thing that got me when I was growing up wrestling is when I learned that I only knew about the Von Erichs because I was from Texas.
Yeah.
That it was very regional. This place had their wrestlers, this place had their wrestlers, this place had their... It's like the Von Erichs were touring around this area, but they weren't going to New York or California or Florida. They were, in the movie it portrays when they started to branch out. Now it's a worldwide organization. Before it was like separated.
Everybody had, remember when you would
and
go...
I was like, y'all, like I went to, like, my dad lived in Wyoming.
Yeah.
So I go to Wyoming for summer, and like nobody's ever heard of the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean?
But remember though, then
what do you mean
Carrie
you never
gets
heard
on-
of the Von Erich?
Carrie gets on WWF at the time. And so then you'll be like, oh, you know, Carrie Von Erich, the Texas Tornado. No, the modern day warrior. Like, because he became the Texas Tornado. And what? No, he's the modern day warrior. It says it in the song.
Nobody in Texas is the Texas Tornado.
No.
You have to go somewhere else to be the Texas Tornado.
Yeah, that's like, we don't call it Texas barbecue here. You got to go to the UK to get that.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, you're so right, because it was like, you know, Atlanta had Dusty Rhodes, and here we had our guys, and then, you know, everywhere but I was so into it. Like, I remember there was wrestling from San Antonio. It was like Scott Casey was like the big star, and he would come up and you know, you just kind of got into whatever you could. But yeah, man, Ozzy really put the brakes on wrestling for me, and I was just, man, I mean, I still watched and stuff, but you know, all of a sudden, I would rather just sit there and listen to Diary of Madman and listen.
But it also seemed, once you connect with music in these formative years, it becomes your own personal journey. You know, instead of watching somebody else doing something, you feel like you're a part of this, and you can get a drum set, and you can be a part of this, or you can be influenced, and you can. Yeah. Very few people are like love wrestling and then become wrestlers.
Yeah,
obviously,
and especially though when you discover punk rock. Because
very accessible.
Discover punk, it's accessible. That's exactly the word that I use. It's like, it's, you know, especially when you realize, okay, the fathers of this shit, who we consider the fathers of it. Don't come at me. I don't need to know what you think. But when you look at like the Ramones and the Sex Pistols and those early bands like that, it's all playable. You can sing all of it. They're good songs. You can actually get up on stage and make them sound good. You know, and you feel like you're actually doing something. And that was the thing, is you coming out of metal, it's like you had to be able to shred to play guitar. You had to be able to shred to play drums. You had to have that to be able to sing and stuff. And so it was just that the whole world opened up. And that's what happened with me too. And it was just like, also, man, I can write these songs. You know, I can write a song about a fart, you know, or a girl, you know. You know, I call Bowling for Soup a fart joke band, and we just made our first fart reference in our latest song, 31 years in. Yeah.
What were you waiting for?
I don't know. I mean, we do them on stage, you know, but, you know, it's during the banter, but I've always said, yeah, we're a fart joke band. And my wife would always say, but you have 0 songs about farts. And I'm like, well,
I got to change that.
Well, we do reference a fart and holding on to that hate now. And so we're there now. But yeah, I, you know, that the Ramones for me, interesting thing about punk rock, were one of those bands like the Beatles in that, and I don't mean like the lords of music. I mean, I didn't start listening to the Beatles until late, like after high school. And then, so once I started listening, I would do the thing where like, oh, I know this song. I know this song. I know this song. I didn't realize I knew the whole Beatles catalog.
Yeah.
Ramones were the same thing. I got into the Ramones like in the early 90s, you know, after they're kind of sort of on their way out at that point. And you go back, it's, oh, I know this song. Oh shit, that's the song from Vacation when they go around the corner, you know. I know this song, you know. And it was one of those deals where it's just like I really sort of missed the boat on this whole thing, but you know, I was happy to be there when I got there.
What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Legacy Ink, the finest in tattoo pigments. I've been using this ink exclusively for over 20 years myself. It has been recently rebranded and marketed, but it has been the same recipe for decades. Real, hand-mixed tattoo pigments that heal great and last. People always comment on the yellow that I use and the yellow tattooed on me, my favorite, the Mayan yellow. I have seen countless 20-plus-year-old tattoos with the colors still vivid. Don't duck around with all these newfangled companies with their watered-down baloney. Get the tried, true, and tested good shit. You can find them on Instagram at Legacy Pigments or email Ashley today to place an order at legacyartsupplies@gmail.com. Tell them Oliver sent you and receive a special discount. Don't just do tattoos. Be part of a legacy. Well, I grew up my Beatles and stuff like that, Beatles and Zeppelin and my dad's favorites, so I grew up knowing every Beatles song.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got into punk rock, and you're kind of like kind of get away from that phase or whatever. But right after high school, I started doing some drugs and started doing some LSD and listening to all that music again that I knew so well. But it was like, I never even heard this music before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never even heard this music before. Like Pink Floyd, I grew up listening. I knew I'd heard every Pink Floyd album growing up.
Oh, yeah.
But then I listened to it in LSD. I was like, I never even heard this music before. Like, now I know why my dad liked this music so much.
Yeah. I've never done drugs. But
well, then you've never heard Pink Floyd.
Right. I agree
I'm telling
with that.
you right now.
I've never done drugs, but I can only imagine being on something and listening to the Beatles with headphones on.
Yeah.
Because of just where everything sits in the mix and over here, then over there, whatever. Like I can.
Yeah, the later records, Sgt. Pepper's and stuff. It's like, and anything Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to a young kid in a band, this band Matchbook Romance. I don't know if you remember them or not.
Of course I do. We did work tour with them.
The kid was like, Pink Floyd's my favorite. I was like, oh, you've done LSD? He's like, no. I was like, you've never even heard it. You never even heard it, bro.
It's so funny. No, I never did it.
I'm not saying you should go do drugs.
Right. But you almost just quoted my psychology professor. He actually, I swear to God, his name was Dekoff. And he was just this most straight-laced dude, and he actually talked like this. And his voice was like this. And so one day he said, I'm not saying that you should try LSD. I am just saying that if you ever get the chance, you should try LSD, And it was just like, he's like, it's not going to kill you. Oh man, I got a good drug story for you, but it's not about doing drugs. So it's safe. It's Fat Mike. It's a Fat Mike story.
He does a lot of drugs.
Well, arguably.
I've seen him do a lot of drugs.
So Fat Mike comes up to, I don't know which one to tell you. I have two. I'm going to tell you the funniest one that I have from him. Because it doesn't point to him doing anything. So Fat Mike from NoFX, he comes up to me and he goes, we were talking about this topic or whatever. And he was like, you never done anything? And he goes, when we first opened up the museum, he's instrumental in the Punk Rock Museum. When we first opened up the museum, there was a shelf in the bathroom and I had to put a sign on it that said, do not do blow here. Right. And he was just like, and people would come out and just be like, yeah, oh, Fat Mike telling us not to do blow in the bathroom, like real cool or whatever. And he goes, but some of them would just get on there and try it just because, hey, it says not to do it. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So they'd get their put their little vial there and get it all lined up or whatever. And then they would bend over to go do it. Well, the problem is the air dryer was right above their head and it would just go and cocaine would just go all over the bathroom every time.
So I'm not saying don't do cocaine. I'm saying don't do it right here.
Don't do it right here.
Do it over there.
Yeah, do it over there. That's exactly right. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like
I
you
love
get
that.
it all lined up and then you just bend over and just you got the Dyson hairdryer just Oh my God.
Man, we went to Miami one time for a big event with a bunch of nameless tattooers that I'm not going to name. Sure. And I had driven my RV down there, the tour bus, the tat bus. It was a big RV. And we were like, we're all going to go downtown. I'm like, pile in the RV. We piled 30 plus people in this RV, standing room only, just standing there. And we're driving. And I haven't done drugs since 1991. Yeah. But doesn't mean I don't know people that do drugs.
Sure.
So my buddy's sitting in the passenger seat and he's like, oh man, they're putting cocaine out on the kitchen counter over there. And I was like, and the music's playing loud, everybody stands like, hey, tell me whenever somebody's about to do a line.
Oh no.
And so we're driving and he's like just watching and he'll like nod and then I tap the brake.
Yeah, of course.
Or I hit the gas. Or I swerve to the left, or swerve to the right. And so every time I do it, the cocaine slides over the counter, they bump into it, and they're so focused on trying to do this cocaine, they're not even noticing.
They don't even realize
Dude,
it.
I've like 20 times I just like hit the brake or hit the gas, and every time you hit the brake, everybody standing is like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
Whoa!
exactly.
So we're just swerving and driving all, and then he's like, "You should probably be careful. We're gonna get pulled over." And
They're just gonna be cocaine
a shitload
everywhere.
of cocaine everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
But somebody finally that was back there waiting noticed that we were laughing and I was doing it like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah.
That was I was like, you
Yeah,
shouldn't
it's
do
good.
cocaine in the moving
Don't
bus.
do cocaine in the moving bus. Don't do that. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of rules.
So I have a sign in the bathroom over here that says, "Please don't do coke in the bathroom." I would love to put a little shelf out.
Yeah.
And with an air dryer.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Anytime you get close.
Yeah, the shelf's not there anymore because they were tired of having cocaine all over the.
Yeah, because then it would.
Yeah, it's just everywhere, right? But yeah, God, I just think that is such a Saturday Night Live skit.
I love that.
It just yeah, if you could do cocaine on TV, I don't know
Especially people that know Fat Mike. Oh, he's gonna tell me not to do
That's
it.
the whole thing. It was almost a dare, right? Like, who is he to tell me? Like it's even he would tell you. Like Fat Mike will just walk up to you with cocaine and shove it in your nose.
Oh my
like,
God.
But yeah, that's a good one.
The years that I was on Warped Tour when NoFX was on Warped Tour, Fat Mike was always up to shit.
Yeah,
he's up to something.
They had a club called the Circle of Hate.
Oh
and
yeah,
it was all the old school guys. You're probably familiar with this, but it was all like Pennywise and them.
I had the Bads and the Pots. Remember that?
No.
A bunch. They had these groups called the Bads and the Pots.
Okay.
And they all got tats. And like the Pots would get a little pot tattoo, and those are people that only smoke weed.
Okay.
And then the Bads were the people that did anything.
Okay. That's amazing. Yeah. Well, they used to circle their buses, and it was the Circle of Hate, and they weren't letting any of nobody else could get in or whatever. And so, when you got invited over, it was like being a comedian and getting invited up to the couch on Carson. It's just like, I'm going in, guys. I'm going in. They've invited me to play poker. I know they just want my money. I know that, but I'm gonna see how this goes. And but yeah, they had a lot of fun.
Scott Beggs played a lot of poker on the Warped Tour.
It's Scott Beggs' birthday today.
Today's his birthday. Happy birthday, Scott.
Happy birthday.
This won't air till long after your birthday, but
yeah, well,
I'll send him a message.
I'm going to text him after we're done.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Yeah, were you on tour that year? That he was our driver on Warped Tour?
I'd never been on Warped with Scott.
Okay, he was our driver one year.
What you were on tour tattooing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he was driving the bus. It was a truck with a fifth wheel tattoo shop behind it. And that was early. That was like one of the second or third year I did Warped Tour. Not second year Warped Tour, second year I did it. Probably 06 or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because by the time we started, we did our first one in 03. They didn't actually have sanctioned tattoos on there anymore. So we all just had somebody in our bus.
Yeah.
And
the last year I did it was what year was it? Probably 2008 or 9.
Oh, okay.
2007. Yeah.
Maybe they did, and I just didn't know it. Were you like tattooing out in the shit, or you were just tattooing bands?
Bus World.
Got it. Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah, I probably was scared of you. I was like, I don't know. Like I have a tendency to like not really overstep. I don't really know my worth. I don't think so. They were probably like Oliver Peck. So I'm not gonna fucking make eye contact with that guy. Because that dude's way cooler than me. But I'm the fucking king of Warped Tour. No, I'm not really. But I sort of am. I do pretty good now.
Y'all did. I know you were on Warped Tour at least 2 years that I was on there.
We did 9 of them.
9 of them.
Yeah, and
there's at least 2 that I was on the same year that you were.
Yeah,
I didn't do every single year, but
yeah, I'm sure that was a thing. Yeah, you and I didn't meet until late. I mean, it was like after 3 Links before you and I actually met.
A lot of common friends over the years.
A lot of common friends or whatever. And, I was in and out of your tattoo shop looking at Flash for years and years. But I think the first time we ever actually hugged it out and met was at Scott's 50th birthday party.
Yeah.
When I hosted the roasts.
That was like we knew each other, but we didn't really know each other.
So we just did the thing. Yeah. You do the thing where like you do it probably with tattoo artists. I do it with band guys. Yeah. We don't ever actually meet. We just are friends.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I know who you are. You know who I am. Like, we're just are what we are, and that's fine. But Yeah, that's what it was. That was a great night. You know,
How long ago was that? How old is Scott now? That was like
6 or 7
yeah,
years ago.
he's older than me. I know that.
Yeah. You know that I ad-libbed that whole thing? I did not prep one single thing.
Did you see my note cards?
Did you ad-lib yours too?
So I had note cards, but I just wrote on the note card, Scott sucks.
No.
Scott's an asshole. Scott's a piece of shit. Everyone hates Scott. I just wrote all these things, and then I was just talking shit, but then I'd throw the note card out so that people would see it. You know what I mean?
That's amazing. We did a roast for Scott Beggs, a big promoter here in Dallas, and all of his friends were there, and I didn't.
You were the roast master.
I was the roast master, and I didn't know everybody. And so a lot of the people I literally just met that night, and then I'm just like, all right, I guess I'm just going to say some shit about that this guy, you know, or whatever. And I did all that. But then people would try to roast me back, and of course they go straight to the fat joke because that's the easy thing or whatever. And I'm just like, it's the last place you want to go with me because I will literally tear you apart. Like you will wish that you did not say that, but anyway, it works out.
I just remember saying like, "Hey, I don't know whatever's up with this soup guy," and that was what I said or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And I was like, "What?" I wasn't trying to be mean, really, but I was trying to. I don't know.
Now I said something. Yours was funny. I thought my joke about you was funny. I said Oliver just had open heart surgery, but you know, I said, but rest assured, he's still not going to ever wear a shirt when he wears a suit.
I did just have I had a heart attack recently. It wasn't. It was. They went in through a little thing.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
they did. Well, which you know, because I only found out. So I had heard about it from a friend, and then of course I was watching the TV show back then, and then so I saw you have to. No, I tell you what it was. You had to come on to the finals live and like say that you had a heart attack. So it was live TV. You had just had the heart attack.
Yeah,
and this is when DJ won.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
I missed one day of filming.
That's crazy.
Had a heart attack and missed one day.
Crazy. Isn't it crazy how skinny people have heart attacks? You would just think that would just never happen, you know? Like it's just it goes to show you, like
it runs in my family.
The old lady that drinks Dr. Pepper and whiskey all day and eats chicken fried steak, you know,
smokes cigarettes, lives to be 100.
Lives to be 100, and the runner drops dead at 29.
Well,
fuck him.
Genes.
I only run when chased.
It's all about your genes, my friends. You know, if your grandparents live to be 100, you might live to be 100.
Doctors just say that now.
Yeah,
they're just like, it really is. I mean, you know, obviously there's stuff you can do, and you know, it's my weight didn't real. I was a fat kid, and then I, you know, had my weight under control for a long time, but I wasn't living healthily. I was just drinking all the time and not eating. And then when I got depressed, I stopped moving, and then the weight started coming on, and it's just been a fucking fight ever since. But, you know, I just have to, you know, I go to the doctor and I get all the tests done and, you know, all that. So I'm all right. But yeah, you wouldn't have been one of that I would have picked out to have had a heart attack. You look like you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Is
constantly...
that something you have to deal with forever now? Like, you have to take medicine for it and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got just familial cholesterol disorder deal.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was on a medication and got my cholesterol down really low, and then I got off of it for a little while, thinking that I was, you know, just whatever, not thinking about it, and then went back to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
It's like,
do you not like the way that it makes you feel, or you just were just thinking to yourself, I got this kick.
We just ran out of medicine, and then was like, "Oh, I got to go back to the doctor," and then 6 months goes by, you know. Just time. Life is busy, and you just boom, boom, boom.
Little advice on Lexapro. If you ever run out over Christmas and decide you just don't need it anymore, it takes 6 weeks to get out of your system. And you're for 6 weeks, you're like, this is great. I'm fine. I'm cured.
And then?
And then you literally, it is literally like you're crawling out of your skin. Like you can't, like anxiety, like you can't imagine.
And then how long does it take to get back in your system? Yeah, so you're fucked.
You're fucked. It's 2 weeks of just pure living hell if you have anxiety the way that I do. And that
What are
was
you anxious about?
stupid. I don't know. I honestly, I'm the happiest person I know.
Yeah.
I am the most positive person. I'm positive and nice to my detriment.
Yeah.
To every single person I
Friendly.
meet. Friendly. I'm kind to every single person. I never think worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a worrier.
But then in your head,
I don't know. It's again, it's all chemical. I mean, I didn't experience depression or anxiety until my 40s. And then, I was going through a divorce. We were fighting for custody over the kids. I got into a new relationship. We moved to a new house in a different neighborhood.
only slightly stressful.
Exactly. It's one of those things where my doctor said any one of these could send somebody spiraling out of control.
And you're doing all of it.
All of it at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was the beginning. And then, it's been, like I said, around 13 years of dealing with it. I got it under control now. I mean, I have a psychiatrist and 2 therapists, and I take, several medications, and I talk about it a lot now. That's the big therapy is, you mentioned Robin Williams earlier. I mean, I sort of feel like, not from a fame standpoint, but I feel fit into that category of people that there's no way you would have ever known that I dealt with this if I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
And so,
And the bottling up is what makes you pop.
right. Yeah. It's the compartmentalizing, and I am really bad about that. I don't like conflict unless it's business. So business, Jaret, I can fire people. My crew are all scared of me. All that's great. Life, Jaret.
So when I need to fire somebody, I'm calling you.
I'll fire people.
I'm the worst firer.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I don't love it, but you got to do it sometimes.
I'm like, you know what? We have got to fire you because you're fucking up too much, but we're going to give you another chance.
My manager has
next time.
My manager has several companies, and he has a thing to where if he takes you to one Mexican food restaurant, you're safe. But if he takes you to El Phoenix,
you're out.
You're out.
If you're getting $3.99 enchiladas, you're out.
Yeah. If on Tuesdays they've already got the enchiladas in front of you before you sit down, you're out.
Oh my God,
man.
I think El Phoenix used to be really good.
We talked about this the other day, and I have not been there. So that was my ex-wife's family's place. Like that, we went there anytime we were meeting with her grandparents or whatever, that's where we went. So, I mean, it's probably been that long since I've been to one, 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, it was always good. But you said the thing, you go, if before the order is out of your mouth, if they're already bringing it to your table, something's not right. But it goes to that whole Jim Gaffigan bit, right? Where he says, like, can you imagine explaining Mexican food? All right, well, what's a taco? Well, it's a tortilla. You just got some meat, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes. Oh, okay. Well, what's a burrito? Well, it's a tortilla. It's got meat, beans, lettuce, cheese, tomato. Yeah, well, what's an enchilada? Well, it's a tortilla. And he just goes through the whole thing, and it's just like everything's the same shit. And that place, El Phoenix only has like a handful. Everybody gets the same thing anyway, right?
Yeah,
but
mostly.
It's been a long time for me, but I like. We were talking about that Joe T. Garcia's. That, they only have 2 things, but it's unbelievable. You can either get fajitas or enchiladas, and that place is good.
It's a real deal.
It's the real deal. But you do, if you get there at the wrong time, you're like standing out in the parking lot waiting for an hour and a half.
Well, now it's humongous. It's insane. I mean, I grew up going there as a kid, and it was a tiny little place.
Yeah.
And then it just kept getting bigger.
Yeah.
And then they bought the place next door and expanded. Then they bought the place next door and expanded. Now it's the whole city block.
It is one of those places where like you walk through and like you walk into another room and you're like, am I in the same building? What is
now I'm outdoors.
Yeah, what is happening? They have the empty swimming pool there.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you can eat around that thing. Yeah.
Which used to be like a little kind of apartment thing that had a swimming pool, and they just bought it.
Is that true?
Yeah, they just bought it. Started out with the one little square building, with like 4 tables inside, and then they got the patio, and then they bought the place next door and expanded, and now it's literally the entire block. They just keep buying.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that place is good.
Well, you have a line in one of your songs that says, "The Mexican food north of here sucks anyway."
Yeah,
and I live by that.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you how
I go north. I don't eat Mexican food.
So our rule used to be north of Colorado because you can still there's
Colorado's
some places,
Mexican food is the worst.
It is bad. And you know where I don't like Mexican food, and this is wild, but I'm not crazy about New Mexico.
I like green chili, but that's not Mexican
food.
It's
just not my thing. But you know how that line happened was we were on tour with another Texas band called Dynamite Hack from Austin. They did that cover of Boys in the Hood back in the day, and we were in Portland, Maine, and it was a Sunday and off season. There was nothing open. It was freezing cold outside or whatever, and there was one place we could walk to. They were in a tour bus, we were in a van, but for whatever reason, everybody was like, man, everything in the city's shut down, and there's a Mexican food place right there. And so 15 dudes from Texas walk into this Mexican food place in Portland, Maine, and it's like, I mean, we're on the road, right? You can eat anything. You're eating burritos.
You'd be better off at Taco Bell.
You'd be better off eating the bomb from the Quick Trip. I mean, it's like and that's what it was like.
Yeah,
it was like they took the bomb from 7-Eleven, halfway warmed it up, and then just poured red enchilada El Paso sauce on it or whatever, and it was bad. So that's where that line came from or whatever. So we used to have a rule where we wouldn't eat it north of here, but I mean, Mexican people have sort of like gone everywhere. You can find it sometimes, but you do have to search.
The only food genre that I have found that is reliable anywhere you go is Thai food. In even if you're in a small town traveling through the middle of nowhere and there's a Thai food restaurant, it's going to be good.
Well, but on a tour bus, that's not good. You have, you have 12 fat guys in a bus, and you're not allowed to poop. The one food that I think is the same everywhere you go? Chili's.
Well, as far as Mexican food goes, I'm a Tex-Mex purist. I argue with the people in California all the time. The California Mexican food is just bland to me.
It's all about fresh.
It's bland though.
Yeah.
It's just white rice.
Yeah.
Black beans. Yeah. Nothing spicy. It's just bland.
How do you feel about the white queso in Tulsa, Oklahoma?
I can't say that I've had it.
No.
I've been off the cheese for quite a while, so.
Oh, off the cheese. Are you just not a dairy guy?
I've been vegan for.
Oh, vegan.
I've been vegan since the heart attack.
That is getting easier when you travel, but it wasn't always easy.
As long as I've been vegan, it's been pretty easy.
Yeah.
I always say Audra's been vegan for like 20 years now. She was vegan when it was hard.
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
Now you can get food anywhere.
Yeah.
But
everything. But it is like, but if you're do you have to really watch it though, or you end up just all carbohydrates, right? So like if you eat like the fake meat is all just like.
We don't try to eat too much of the fake meat.
Yeah.
Just eat fresh foods, fresh vegetables and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds horrible.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Man, I'm a picky fat kid though. I was never really the fact that I didn't eat anything green but lettuce until I was in my 30s, but I've gotten better.
Yeah. I've just adopted the mindset that I'm eating for sustainability as opposed to eating for entertainment.
If you're eating for survival and you're eating to nourish your body, which is what we're supposed to do anyway, but I mean, Gino's pizza rolls are so good though.
I know, but I feel like that's one of the big problems with the youth of today. They're being brought up, learn to eat for entertainment. Yeah. Like eat to enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, don't eat it. Like when I was a kid, you had to eat your green beans. I was forced to eat my green beans. Nowadays, it's like, oh, they don't like green beans. Let's give them chicken nuggets.
But I do agree with that. But we were also forced to clean our plate. And so a lot of times that meant, like, hey, I'm not hungry anymore. And they're like, well, you're eating the rest of that. The whole mommy dearest thing where she just sits there with that fucking bleeding steak on her plate, for 2 days. And just, oh, man. But yeah, I do agree that we sort of, I tried not to be this parent, but nobody's perfect. But, you try not to be the chicken nugget parent.
Yeah.
And I think we did a really good job.
Just the frozen microwavable food.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not easy. Life's busy and it's just, it's so simple. It's like screens, right? You hear the parents that are just like, oh, my kid's never going to have a screen. I mean, we're not giving them an iPad. They're not getting a TV.
They got it.
Oh, they get it. They get it. And if they don't, they can. I will say this: parents can sometimes make it through one kid.
Yeah.
They ain't making it through two.
Yeah, but once the kid gets old enough to be exposed to other kids, they say, why don't I have what that kid has?
Also, they're behind. It's like Gary says. So my podcast is called The Rockstar Dad Show, by the way. Everybody check it out. But, my drummer is my co-host. And he says all the time, he's like, this is what you use to do everything in the world now. So if you've never seen this and you start first grade,
you're fucked.
You're fucked. And this is like, because they can it is weird, man, when you see like you'll see like a toddler pick up an iPad and they just instinctively know what to do. Yeah. Because
the future are weird. The future has less buttons and dials and controls. The future is all interactive.
Oh, it's going to be, I mean, it's weird that there's this pushback, towards, I think the AI thing is going to be interesting because there is this crazy pushback on AI right now. And I don't know how you stop it.
I don't think you can stop it.
I don't think so either. I think that you're going to have to figure out a way to embrace it or whatever, but even they're already starting to regulate it. I don't know if you saw this, like ChatGPT is not
no longer give legal advice.
No legal or medical advice.
Yeah.
And I put this, so I had I have ulcerative colitis. So I had an ulcerative colitis flare while I was on the road and I was between doctors. And so it actually helped me to regulate it and to like do a few things that really did help me. And I'm kind of bummed about it because I mean,
there's going to be a workaround.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
there's going to be a way to get the dark web AI. You're going to be able to do whatever. They're not going to be able.
I'm sure there already is, right?
They can. The problem is it's going to get to the point where it's unregulatable.
Right.
Like it's like a gun law. Like you can make a gun law, but the criminals are going to do it anyway.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You can regulate something, and only people that follow the regulations are going to abide by it.
I mean, it's as simple as a deadbolt on a door.
Yeah.
Right. Any police officer will tell you, put a deadbolt on your door, but it's not going to keep people from breaking in. If they want in this house, they're going to come in the house.
Yeah, you got glass windows. Come on.
What I mean, it's and that's the whole thing, right? I mean, that's we do like to, it's liquids through TSA. They do that to make us feel secure. They don't, they're going to do away with that, I think, too. But oh man, well, they're not letting liquids through, so we're all safe on this flight.
There's too many things that don't make sense.
It's just again, we just need these. It's like that just reminded me of what we call the feel good pass. It's where like everybody who comes that's on the guest list to a show, they just want to feel like they're getting something. So like they'll be like, hey, I don't mind buying a ticket, but I really just, can you put me on the list or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, they do mind buying a ticket.
Yeah.
But they do want to just be on the list. And for the most part, really, even if you don't give them access, if you give them something that just says, hey, this guy knows somebody or whatever, it's called the feel good pass, then that just makes them, they stand a little taller.
Well, you're giving your secrets away now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, everybody knows I don't put you on my guest list anymore anyway. Y'all can buy tickets. I have 2 more kids to put through college.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. You're right. A lot of things just don't make sense.
The AI thing, I say that if I could go back and erase it and make it not exist, I would.
Yeah.
But there's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
Nothing anybody could do about it. You can't put it back in a box now.
Yeah, there's things like that, right? That you would go back and do, right? That you could go back and change things, but yeah, unfortunately that's not a thing,
Yeah.
unless
I think we're screwed.
we're not.
I said yesterday, something happened where we were paying attention to something on the internet and it was wild, and I was like, man, it's a great time to be old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was terrible time to be a kid right now.
That's the whole
dude.
thing, right? It's like when you hear about climate change and stuff, you're just like, I don't know.
I'm ready to ride this out.
Yeah, shit. I don't know. What, I got 30 years left in me? What's going to happen in 30 years?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Now, and I'm like, hey, kids, y'all should pay attention to this because you guys may have to deal with this shit. But I'm out. You know?
Yeah, you got kids to worry about. They're going to be fine.
They're going to be fine.
They're going to be fine.
Maybe it'll kick in when I have grandkids, and then I'll start worrying about shit. But as of right now, I feel like, I've given my kids a good life. I've done the best I can. I didn't solve plastic bottles, but I'm doing what I can.
On that note, I'm going to take a quick pee break.
All right.
And we're back.
All right.
Had to do a quick little load into a truck thing real fast, quick and easy. We talked about Mexican food. We talked about country music. You know what we didn't talk about?
What's that?
We didn't talk about this toy store biz.
Yeah.
So you had your own toy store.
Yeah. So,
obviously, I love toys.
Yeah, it was, and it was at a really cool time too. So my girlfriend in high school, her dad, as a side hustle, had started, basically sort of setting up on the side of the road and selling scooters and bicycles back in the mid '80s, and that turned into a full-time toy store that I got to be involved in, and then we partnered up, and we eventually had a full-time one in Wichita Falls, and then we would have like 7 or 8 little ones that were open, not little, but temporary ones that were open just during Christmas. So we were in Wichita Falls, so then we'd have one October, November, December in Lawton, Duncan, Altus, Richland Hills, Denton, and
Major enterprise.
It was a major undertaking.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
And what years were this?
It was fun. This was sort of 88 to like 91.
That's during the Toys R Us era.
Yeah, so that's basically what happened. We were doing fine. It's kind of we didn't have a category killer, so there was no Toys R Us, and then we got one in Wichita Falls. And when that happened, then Walmart and Target, of course,
up their toy game.
There's toy game. But really what happened to us more than anything was Nintendo. Kids didn't want bicycles and skateboards and stuff anymore. They wanted Nintendo, and we just couldn't compete with that because the investment was crazy.
To sell games.
To sell those kind of games. Honestly, like costs on those things was back then, a Super Nintendo game would cost you $50 and Walmart would sell it for $53. You just couldn't compete.
Yeah.
And we had built this whole business on selling like little tykes, and where we cornered the market was stuff that they couldn't compete with us with. So stocking stuffers, we just absolutely killed because we could have rows and rows of just little dollar bullshit, and people would come in there and literally spend $200 on that stuff. And Pogs, I had
Pogs were huge.
3 11-foot horse troughs that we went to Tractor Supply Company and bought. It went down the whole store, and it was just full. And we were having to drive down to Harry Hines from Wichita Falls twice a week to refill up on them and go and just dump them in there.
And they're those little cardboard discs, right?
Kids would come and just dig for hours. Hours they would dig.
So when you buy a large lot, you don't know what you're getting. You're just getting random assortment.
No, you would buy it, so you basically buy by the bag. So if your cost, you're buying like a bag of 1,000, and so you'd go and you'd buy shitty ones. It'd be like $15 for 1,000. But then you'd buy, good ones like foil, or then they would have Star Wars, they'd have sports, so you'd pay more for those, but you mix them all in there together. So
the fun is digging through to find the good
was
one.
the digging in to find the good ones or whatever. And then the slammer was the thing, like the launching thing. So like those things turned into from things that were this little plastic disc that you were selling for 50 cents to ones that were like metal and this thick that we sold for $30. You know, I mean, it was, but man, it's so crazy. We used to have POG competitions at the store in Wichita Falls, and every once in a while, some young dad will come up and be like, dude, I was in a POG competition at your store, and people remember it. And so, but yeah, that was fun. But you and I were talking earlier, I had that store during, the Tickle Me Elmo, the Talking Barney, the My Size Barbie, all of those. Power Rangers was a really big one, big fad that happened.
And you were buying from big distributors.
Yeah, we were buying from big distributors and actually going to the toy shows and stuff like that. A lot of what we were doing was, as it got to be bigger and bigger, it was a lot more import stuff. So it was more like what you would see at like a, like now at like a what do you call it? Like a kiosk in the mall. So like, dogs that did backflips and shit, and then in switchblade combs and, that kind of stuff. Where it was really hard to compete with Parker Brothers stuff, like we would carry Monopoly, but so a lot of those other stores use that as a loss leader. So you're buying that for $12 and they're selling it for $8.99. And that's because they just want to get people in there. That's the thing. If you're not into marketing, that they will rope you in with something to get you in there where they're losing $4 because they want you to buy chapstick and eyelashes and toothpaste and Cheez-Its and things where they're actually making.
You're already
profit.
in their store.
Yeah, exactly.
So get everything done here.
That's the thing, right? Is that like, I used to have a thing where it was impossible to go to Target without spending $200. And that's when I didn't even have a job, so like it is one of those things where, and don't get me started on Bed Bath & Beyond.
And then they started having groceries at Target.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
It's all, it was a lot of fun. And, like I said, me and my girlfriend's dad, got to be big buddies. I learned a lot, about business and running a business and marketing. And that really, to this day, I use in Bowling for Soup, and, I have a degree in marketing as well, which does come in handy. But, really it's that.
Do you have a Bowling for Soup toy?
I don't guess we do.
Well, you're fucking up.
Yeah, I guess I don't guess. I mean, we have bobbleheads.
You do? Yeah. That's a toy.
Okay, so new bobbleheads coming this fourth quarter, actually.
Well, cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Those will be soon. Hopefully, they make it by Christmas. I don't know. It's the whole deal of there's a language barrier getting these things done.
Yeah,
but we're working on it.
You got a guy dealing with a guy dealing with a guy.
It's just it's back and forth emails, and everything isn't always clear. As far as like, because I think they think they're making them in China, and so anyway, it's crazy. Luckily, I bought them. I paid full price before the tariffs kicked in, so I'm good.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you're just waiting on delivery.
We're still trying to fine tune the stuff because I wanted Rob going like this, but they were like, his fingers will break off, and so then they sent me Rob like doing this, and I'm like, that looks like it's
too white power.
It's really power to the people, kind of like weird, right? I'm like, I don't know about the fist in the air. So then they sent it back, and he's like holding a bass and his hands in his pocket, and I go, can you just have the hand on the bass guitar? Like, what is happening? So, but it's I've gone through this process before, and it was a lot easier, but these are quite a bit cheaper. But it's like I buy those Descendants toys that come out, mm-hmm. and I'm always just like, I need to find their guy because their stuff is always so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I figured you gotta have some kind of toy. Yeah,
we did. I mean, that's just it. I will jump on a fad. Like we've done slap bracelets, and we did what do you call it? Fidget spinners when those came out, and we did I will try to jump on one of those. There's really not been my best one that I did though was this one was crazy. When the Live Strong bracelet got really big.
Yeah.
and everybody kind of started doing those rubber bracelets. I got in on that deal early, and I got those things I got the Bowling for Soup colors back in the day, the black and gold, and in a swirl. It said Bowling for Soup on it, and I got those things. I bought 5,000 of them, and I ended up getting for like 3 or 4 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And then plus the shipping, and we sold those things
$20 a piece.
We were selling them for $5.
Yeah.
But I mean, for years, that was putting gas in the van.
Yeah,
you know, and
because it's a cheap item everybody can get.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, right? It's like, you know, I'll give everybody a little bit of advice, because I know you have a lot of musicians that listen, or music fans that listen to the show. You know, the cat's out of the bag that venues charge us for. To sell merch at their place, right? That
I have a contention with this.
Yeah, well, it's existed forever. It can be
some venues do it, some venues don't.
Some venues don't. The Texas country world, I will say, is awesome. Most of them do not. Our where Bowling for Soup plays, they do, and it can literally be between 20 and 45%.
Yeah.
Now, that's why you're paying so much for merch. But secondly, some stuff it doesn't apply to. So normally it's just cloth. So if you're there and you're wanting to support a band,
buy the vinyl,
buy the koozie, buy the bracelet, buy the keychain, buy the CD. You know, any and all of that stuff, they're actually getting to put that into their pocket. But if you're buying a shirt, chances are, and especially if the price seems inflated, a very big portion. I mean, honestly, Oliver, it'd make you sick. Some nights where if you saw my merch numbers, and then once they take what they're going to take, and then charge me the tax on it, I literally just gave it away for free.
I was like, how about this? I'll give you a portion of these T-shirts. You give me a portion of the bar.
Sure.
Let's call it even.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Is like that's the age-old argument. But and people are like, well, why do you do that? I mean, this has been going on forever and ever. You remember when Pearl Jam set up outside, they put their merch store across the street from Reunion Arena because they didn't.
I love that, but I hate Pearl Jam, but I love that about Pearl Jam.
Not a big Pearl Jam guy either, but that was kind of cool.
That was a great move.
They literally set up a storefront across the street.
I love that.
And,
fuck them.
And did it. Yeah, man.
They did a lot of cool. I will say they did a lot of cool shit like that was for the bands.
They did, yeah.
They promoted shit that was for the bands and made a big awareness to people how bands were getting screwed by venues, by labels, by managers, by everything. So I just don't like Pearl Jam music.
First album's fine. After that, I'm out. But
man,
hey, it's Taylor Swift's out there fixing shit now, so hopefully she fixes this Ticketmaster bullshit.
I don't know what is. I don't like her either. What is she doing? Maybe she's doing something cool.
She fixed. So there was a time where like we would there's a time limit on like say you re-recording your hits, right? So usually it's 10 years. So after you can't get your masters back, but after 10 years you can go and re-record that song. Well, so to the average person out there, they really don't understand why you would do that. So and especially like UK people, because they don't like to be taken advantage of, they will see that as a money grab. Like, oh, you're just trying to resell us this song again. Well, it's too complicated to explain the whole process to them. And so what you had to do was come up with like, hey, we're going to re-record this. Songs people actually liked, Volume 1. It's a greatest hits. We're re-recording all the songs because we recorded these in the 90s and the early 2000s, and technology's better. And we're better musicians and all that.
Remastered.
It's remastered, right? Well, what Taylor Swift did, she just said, fuck it, recorded all of her old shit and educated the public. And because she has the
voice,
soapbox to do it, right? So she gets up there and goes, hey, here's the reason why I'm doing this. I don't make any money off of this, or, this is all the label's money and they're not giving me, so I'm going to re-record it. So then when we did our second greatest hits, we're just like, everything is like 1985 BFS's version, and because the Taylor Swift version thing or whatever. Anyway, that's just one thing that she's kind of gone in there and really helped musicians with. And she was really instrumental too in getting us a better deal with streaming, because she was a big holdout especially with Spotify, I think, and stuff like that. So
Has the
she's doing
Spotify
fine.
revenue increased?
Yeah, here's the thing. My thing is, listen to Bowling for Soup, stream it, steal it,
Just
whatever.
listen to it.
Just listen to it, right?
Better than not listening
But
to
what
it.
I can tell you is that the majority of the people that complain about not making money on Spotify are unfortunately musicians that go out and spend $10,000 on an album, but they're working 2 jobs and they think that they should be able to put that on Spotify and make their money back. Unfortunately, it's just not the way economics work. But here's the thing, it's never worked that way.
Yeah.
We never got a check from selling music when we were on Jive Records, not once. We started making money off of music when streaming came out. Now we get a little bit of check. And you know what? I like it fine because I have the songwriting and the actual song rights too,
Yeah.
And so again, a lot of it is just, I know the rate could be better, but at the same time, it's a business that didn't exist. We have the world at our fingertips. You literally can.
I mean, they're playing. I did a bunch of math when I first got on Spotify, and people knew my friends that had bands on Spotify, and you kind of like, I'm paying $9 a month.
Sure.
How many songs do I listen to a month for that $9?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna divvy that up
Exactly.
and give everybody their 1/10 of a penny every time it plays.
That's
you know
what
I mean?
people
It's
don't
like,
take into consideration and yes, I know they're making money, and I know that some pay better than others. And my thing is just, if you're a music fan, it's the greatest thing ever, and we should all just play the game. Like
the way you make money is to go play shows.
you go play shows, and in this day and age, unfortunately, you have to play the social media game.
Yeah.
And
You hear
that's
Reverend Horton he's like, I'm a t-shirt salesman.
100%. Yeah.
He said that his number one advice to bands is like, own your own merch.
Yeah.
Never sign a merch deal with anybody. Never give that merch up.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to make money. Like, how many records does he not ever recoup?
Mm-hmm.
But you go play shows and sell
Yeah.
t-shirts.
My kids eat t-shirts.
Yeah.
And again, we just talked about that. Sometimes stuff eats into that, but luckily we're able to get out there and tour, but man, there's ways to make, there's so many. I do agree this. Here's one thing that I want to put out there. Like, I know especially musicians of the day want that life. They want like the 80s, 90s thing where they can just get in the van and go play shows. And it's unfortunate that doesn't exist anymore. People don't go see bands for discovery anymore. There's no more Deep Ellum Fridays where there's 25 bands and you don't give a fuck who's playing. You just show up, pay $5 and go in and out of the building.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Nowadays, people won't even go to the show early enough to see the opening band.
That's right.
The room is empty for the opening band
That's
now.
right. Yeah. But the trade-off is that I can put out a song this morning,
Yeah.
and literally in every country in the world they can listen to it
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I could leave here, go home, make up a song, and have it out by the end of the night, and it could be literally everywhere. What the fuck? I mean,
Yeah, you got to look at the positive. There's positives. You can find the positive if you're looking for the positives.
It's just different work.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, I know, man, it would have been nice to know what Nikki Sixx had for breakfast back in the 80s. I didn't know. I mean, but if somebody was like, Jesus Christ, did you know Nikki Sixx had waffles today? I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? And now, unfortunately, it's part of my job to go, guys, I had oatmeal today.
Yeah.
Here's a photo of it.
Now you can
buy
watch
tickets to a show.
You can watch Mark McGrath do robe talk every morning.
Man, I love that shit. Good morning. Yeah, he just does the
robe.
He's so funny.
I love the robe, dude.
Oh man, he's what a fucking great guy.
I love him. He is. I've got to meet him many times.
Yeah.
I would call him a buddy.
Yeah, same.
He is. I got a story about him. My buddy, we were going to the show. Dave Navarro has a side project band. He always has like,
the cover band
with a bunch of different every show, different people come. Billy Gibbons, Mark McGrath,
Sebastian is singing.
Sebastian Bach, all that stuff. I saw Sebastian Bach sing "Crazy Train" with Dave Navarro and Billy Gibbons playing guitar. It was one of the greatest things ever.
I can only imagine.
But we're going to the show, and my buddy's coming with me, and he's like, Billy Gibbons going to be at the show, so we're super excited.
Sure.
Mark McGrath's going to be at the show, and he's like, "Oh, fuck that guy."
Oh no.
He's like, "Fuck, I hate that guy. Fuck that guy." And he's like, too cool for school,
Okay.
and he's like, I'm not gonna talk to him, whatever. And so we get to the place. Dave walks us in the back in the backstage. Soon we walk in, the first person see Mark McGrath, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Good to see you again." And we like hug, and I'm like, "This is my buddy."
Yeah.
And he like sticks his hand out.
Yeah.
To shake my friend's hand, and my friend is just like begrudgingly like shakes his hand.
Good.
And then Martin McGrath's got Black Flag bars on his arm that are just outline only. And my buddy just goes, "Oh, real punk rock, can't color in those bars," and makes a joke. And Mark McGrath just says, "Ha ha, you called me out, I'm a pussy." Blah, blah. And he like puts my friend in the headlock, and they like start wrestling around and talking and fucking. Next thing you know, they're taking shots.
Best friends.
And he's like, "He's the coolest guy ever."
I know.
"He's the coolest guy ever. I didn't want to like him." And I'm like,
he is one of the nicest. Like, you would think if you looked like that, you would be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like, he looks good now, and he's aged great. But, like, you see that motherfucker in the mid-90s.
He was a handsome
it
motherfucker.
Did not look fair. Like, it was just like, it literally looked like somebody just made him and, and wheeled him in. And just the fact that he is just always so nice and generous with his time. And
he's great.
He's such a great guy.
He's an amazing guy. I love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
And a great rock and roll fan. And a great entertainer.
And when he performs with Dave's band, where he does, like, he'll sing Prince.
Yeah.
And it's killer.
And then he just tells you how bad he sucks all the time.
And he's killer. And then he'll do a Beastie Boys song, and he kills it. And then he'll do, they cover.
Yeah.
The whole plan is like Billy Gibbons comes out and plays Voodoo Child, and then some other song, and then he'll play one ZZ Top song. Right. And then Mark McGrath comes out and does a couple covers, and then he does every morning. Yeah, yeah. It's one of the best rock shows you could see.
Yeah, I've seen them doing that a lot, and I'm friends with him and Sebastian, and I've seen all that stuff, but I haven't ever got to go see it. But hopefully one of these days. I like that thing that he does, that Mark does with Kevin and Emerson too. It's the tonic. Better Than Ezra and the Sugar Ray thing. They do a tour of that, which is, it's so smart.
Dude, he is such a good performer.
Yeah.
And he loves music, and he loves so much good music.
Yeah, he's a connoisseur. He's the champion of rock and roll Jeopardy.
Dude.
Yeah.
Fucking cool. Yeah. Fucking cool. Yeah, you should definitely. I don't know if haven't seen them do that. It used to be called Camp Freddy.
That's it. Yep.
And then they changed the name to the Royal Machines.
That's right.
But Steve Jones is in it.
Yeah, and they used to actually tour it.
They'd go to Vegas. They go here. They go.
Yeah.
They did a lot of corporate gigs. The show we went to was in San Antonio. It was a corporate gig. Somebody, some corporate company paid them to play, and it was incredible.
I'm sure that's nice.
But yeah, they need to do more of that. It's like when they would play. They used to do every December. They do like 5 nights in a row at the Roxy, and it would, obviously sell out every night. And it was literally like the best LA rock show you could ever go to.
And different people every night too, right? Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, people would buy tickets to every night.
Yeah.
And go see them.
Man.
Good times.
Good times.
I really love having musicians on here and talking about music. Obviously, we talk about other things, toys and Mexican food and whatnot. But Texas musicians and Dallas musicians especially, I love to get in here and just, I grew up in this area and just being a fan of music. I love, we got so many common friends. We do. We didn't even talk about the Dallas musicians that we know and love each other. But,
I know. Well, we'll have to do this again because there's just so many. It's, it's crazy. I just think about, the bands that didn't make it, like, the bands that should have been huge, like Hagfish, Grand Street Criers,
they were big in their own right for that one. They had their 15 minutes,
but man, they were just, we just have always had such great music here. You know, and
I feel lucky to have grown up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in the 80s, in the 90s, and the music that was going to Trees and Clearview and Curtain Club and the Bomb Factory before it was the Factory.
Yeah.
The old, when it was just an empty warehouse.
Yeah, just a shitty, hot fucking...
That's where I saw the Ramones.
Yeah.
And it was literally an empty concrete floor.
Yeah.
And then they just put a stage in a corner.
That's it. Yeah. And, but yeah, I mean, it's, it was kind of nice. When we came up, we sort of like, everything sort of happens in phases here. And so we sort of took the torch from the Toadies, Tripping Daisy, the Nixons, Deep Blue Something. And then, so it was us and, Flicker Stick and Jibe and, just so many great bands that, it was just such a great time. And then of course, then we all went on to go do our stuff and hand that torch down and just bands kind of keep coming out of the scene. And it's cool. I think it's awesome that we've had so much good stuff. You mentioned the Reverend and so much cool, diverse stuff come out of the Dallas-Fort Worth scene and Denton as well. Which I got to give props to Denton.
Oh yeah. I mean, I spent a lot of time going to Denton for shows.
Yeah.
The 90s.
Yeah. Rick's Place was that was the spot. Gosh, it was just so great, man.
A lot of shows there.
A lot of shows, man. Well, it's so funny, when we were kids, we, started coming down here in 94 and we would, go into none of us had any tattoos. We'd go into your shop and just look at Flash and, like everybody else used to back then.
The Darlingtons and the...
Darlington, yeah. Mess before that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. Funland. There's so many good bands.
In my experience, a lot of the bands that you think could have made it or should have been big from this area, a lot of them people just get regular lives.
Yeah, so you get regular lives. Also, just being a local band and having success at that is much different than moving in together in a van.
Yeah,
getting along, surviving together. So you had bands that were just huge here. Hellified Funk Crew and bands like that were just massive here. But
yeah,
didn't go out there and do the legwork. But you had bands that did, like I said, Ugly Mustard and
the big I think the biggest factor into making it, obviously, other than just getting some instant pop one-off hit and getting huge off the bat, the biggest thing is longevity.
It's persistence and perseverance
and being out on the road.
It's
if a band can't get together, if a band can't get along in a van for the whole year and do 200 nights a year, then that's going to be the downfall.
It's the thing that I say the most to, people who ask me, is, man, find like-minded people that you like to be around, but you don't even have to like the same kind of music. You need to sort of like some of the same things.
Yeah.
Because if you're getting up there and or whatever, you're doing this performance and this is whatever, it doesn't matter what you all listen to. That's fine. But
y'all got to think farts are funny.
You got to think farts are funny.
You can't only have one guy that thinks farts are funny.
If you have one, again, honestly, it goes as far as being like, hey, if you got one guy that's a vegan, well, everybody else needs to be vegan sympathetic. Because if you got one guy that thinks that whole thing is bullshit, that ripple will show up.
Yeah.
Eventually it just does, and so, that's again, that's just an easy example, but it's like, and of course there's the one guy that gets the girlfriend and then everything changes, with his personality and stuff like that. And you got to be able to navigate all of that. And, if you can't,
and then somebody gets a girl pregnant and the band's over.
Well, yeah, or you make it and you're all in separate dressing rooms and you're miserable, which is, that's not uncommon.
It happens. They all have if unless you can afford separate tour buses, it ain't gonna work out.
Which this day and age, I don't know who the fuck can, but I imagine they're out there. But my God, buses are expensive now.
Everything's expensive now.
Every shipping, I know. My God, it's like the cost of goods on merch now. It's so different. We were talking Warped Tour when we started on Warped Tour in 2003. We sold shirts for $10 and actually made money. Made money.
Yeah.
And honestly, at 35, we barely even.
You're making less money
That's
than you
right.
were when you were selling them
That's
for
right. That's right.
$15.
Yeah, that's right. Just because, again, cost of goods, shipping, people. I mean,
I mean, I've been printing T-shirts since '99, and this last 5 years, I mean, I tell people, I'm like, dude, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
there's a roll of tape that you use to put on the screen tape.
Yeah.
It used to be like $2 a roll. Now it's $8 a roll.
Yeah.
That is 400% markup.
Yeah, and that's
You know what I
such
mean?
a
It's like-
small part of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
It just.
I mean, every single thing is more expensive,
Yeah.
more expensive, more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just, that's why you see people selling T-shirts for $25, $35, $45.
That's right. Yeah, and then not to mention if the venue starts taking a cut of it, just to be able to. I mean, I got to be able to say that I made. Because again, we're still paying commissions on that stuff too,
And you're carrying it around.
and we're carrying around. I hire the guy that sells it. Like I it's all of that. But
we were on tour 3 years ago, maybe, and we were selling merch. It was Bike Riders Tour. I was tattooing. Ben Nichols playing shows. We had Bike Rider shirts. We're selling shirts. And this one venue wanted to charge X amount of percentage. And we're so many days of the tour. We only have so many shirts.
yeah,
And we're going to sell out of shirts before the end of the tour. And so I was just like, we're not selling shirts tonight.
yeah,
Because we'll sell them tomorrow night. And we're going to sell it before the end of the tour is over. So why am I going to sell out tonight when I'm not getting the money for it?
oh yeah.
So we just didn't sell shirts.
Bar days, I would just open the back of the van.
Yeah.
I would literally just after the
Well,
show,
if you ever
just-
went to like the old punk rock shows, Mad Hatters or the Axis Club or whatever, that was the merch store was the back of the van
Yeah.
after the show was over.
Yeah, I mean, and then that actually works out better anyway because people are more apt to buy something if you're there, and you can swing deals too. Like, hey, I'll give you
Go
two
to-
for this much.
Yeah, you go to the Fire Hose show, and then Mike Watt would be like, "Meet me in the parking lot."
know,
Open the back of the van and start throwing
I
T-shirts
love
out.
that so much, man. I bet that was so rad. I never got to see Fire Hose. That's one of my favorites.
I think it's one of the best bands of the era.
Yeah,
And I've talked about it a lot over the years, but it's like they don't fit
right.
in any genre, and they just kind of got lumped into punk rock.
Yeah, so it's very much like.
I mean, the Minutemen was a little more punk.
Yeah,
I mean, it was more punk for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
But even the Fire Hose is like, it's weird.
but that's like the Meat Puppets and
Yeah.
Husker Du being considered hardcore, right? That was their peer group, and Fire Hose was kind of one of those things, right? Where it's like, that guy, his voice was so good, but their musicianship was so insane that they really didn't fit into this, but you couldn't really put them over there either.
Yeah.
So it's really more of just their peer group. And we'll stick them over here they know this guy,
Yeah.
and, but again, what a great band.
One of my favorites. And we're talking about the other day, the little skit about like how all these pop songs all sound the same.
Yeah.
And like the comedy duo is like playing
Oh,
a
yeah.
chord, and then
Yeah.
they show you how this song and that song are all the same. They go through every major pop hit of the last 40 years or whatever. And I was like, can't do that with Fire Hose
No,
song.
you can't do it with Fire Hose. Man,
They do not fit in any puzzle anywhere.
I do that all the time because that used to be a Bowling for Soup bit where any song could be 3 chords. So
Yeah.
name a song that's on the radio and all.
Yeah.
And we're
Journey
we're already
or-
playing
yeah.
these 3 chords,
And then-
and I'll just do it for you, whatever. But one of my favorite things about being a dad is my children can do that now. So even just today, a Red Hot Chili Peppers song came on. We were listening to Pop Rocks or Y2K or something, and Pop 2K. And I'm taking my 7th grader to school, and that Californication song comes on, and no, California Rested, yeah, Californication, and it starts up or whatever, and my son just goes, "Sweet Home Alabama." And it was the exact song, and I was just
love
like,
it.
I am a successful parent. And I just, gosh, man, I've done something right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can
Yeah, he can just pinpoint it.
you can see through the cracks.
Because I ruin a lot of songs for them because I'll do that. I'll just go, oh, this is the same. And, look, there's only 7 notes, right?
Yeah.
Things are going to sound the same. We've got to be a little, but again, you might as well have fun with it.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
So your kids, how old?
My kids are 22, 19, and 13. So I got one out of college in a management position. I got one as a sophomore in college, and I got one that is in 7th grade. He just won his UIL football championship. His first year, they won their district championship yesterday.
Bingo.
So, yeah, man, he's a good kid. They're all great kids, good citizens, and
I like that. I like that term.
Yeah.
Good citizens.
They're good, empathetic,
civic-minded.
That's my thing is
caring about your fellow man.
Always all I ever wanted was to raise good, empathetic citizens. Just be a good person. My rules are:
you're pretty community-minded.
Don't be I am.
Yes.
Don't be a piece of shit, and be happy. That's it. And with that goes, it's all encompassing. Don't be a piece of shit, and be happy. And be happy means if you decide you're not doing what you want to do at 35, go fucking do something else. Yeah. I'm the last person that's going to tell you that your dreams can't come true.
Yeah.
I
like to only be an asshole to my best friends.
Right.
Like when they're out in the public, I'm the friendliest, nicest guy there is. There's, some people just can't pick it's timing.
Yeah.
You can be an asshole, but only in this one group.
Sure.
You can't be an asshole to the world.
Can't be an asshole to the world, man. Life's too short, man. And it's just not all that bad. It's just not worth it. That's kind of one of the things that bums me out about social media, because I really do enjoy social media. I'm a theater kid that I think I like giving people laughs in 15-second doses. Like I enjoy that. What I don't like is, and it's not necessarily just on me, it's just that people have to feel like people don't think shit anymore.
Yeah.
They're like, I think it. I should type this out. I should obviously put this. I should obviously tell this lady that her butt is bigger than it was last week. You know what I mean? Like, now I thought it. Is this lady's butt bigger than it was last week or whatever? You know what? I should fucking type that out and send it, and maybe somebody could confirm it, or if not, at least I can make her feel terrible about it. You know what I mean? And like, why? That's the shit that just really bums me out. Like people giving my friends shit, and you can't entertain it. You can't, like, I can't take up for my friends, because if I do, then, you can't be, as you said, I'm community minded, right? But I can't tell you what my beliefs are, because if I believe one thing, then I believe all of this shit over here and none of this shit over here. Yeah. Everything's black and white now. Well, that's not how my mind works.
No,
that's
not at all.
Who I am as a person.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I just try to keep it positive.
Keep it fucking positive. That's a Bowling for Soup. That's one of our rules, actually.
I got the KIP tattoo. Do you have the KIP tattoo?
No, but let's get, when you color me in, I want a KIP tattoo.
All right, deal.
I want it. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna have to do this again. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I enjoyed our conversation.
Me too, man.
It was cool, man. We don't agree on a few things, but we do agree that Rat is one of the best
metal bands
of that genre.
100%.
And I think that I just don't think they get the credit.
Yeah. No, I think
for being the top of the game.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely a population that does hold them really, really high. But I do think you're right. I think Warrant and Motley Crue and even Guns N' Roses get looped into that. A lot of people will argue that Guns N' Roses isn't hair metal. The problem is that that's all that existed then. So to us, it is.
Yeah, to me it is.
You can, but
Bon Jovi, Poison, again, all of it.
100%.
It's all
because that's what it was.
It's like putting Fire Hose in punk rock. It's like
100%.
This is what you get. Yeah.
But now people will be like, no, that's like sleaze and blah blah blah. Okay, well that didn't exist back then. We had hair metal, and that's it.
Yeah.
You like that's what that was. Metal was Judas Priest.
Yeah.
Iron Maiden. But yeah. Man, thanks for having me. This has been awesome.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Follow Jaret.
Yeah.
He's under multiple names on Spotify. Bowling for Soup. Jaret Reddick country album.
Yeah.
There's a podcast.
Rockstar Dad Show.
I was going to say Punk Rock Dad. Rockstar Dad.
And then, but yeah, hit me up, JARET2113 everywhere on the social medias except TikTok. I'm just Jaret Reddick, but I'm everywhere. I'm super active, and I do try to respond to everybody. So
He's a funny guy.
That's true.
Yeah. So like, subscribe, post, share, comment, and you comment to Jaret. Maybe he'll respond to you.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
Yeah. We do this whole thing where we respond to comments. So if somebody wants to respond to your comments, I'll talk shit about it when they do.
Okay, perfect.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Hey, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Come on, guys. Click all those links. Push all those buttons because it really helps us out and gets us out there to more and more peeps. What in the Duck podcast is produced by Audra Cabral and John.com Niederkorn. Our sound, video engineer, and editor is Courtney Jr. Larkins. Initial audio-video setup and intro music by Blake Balake Pinchon. And a big thanks to everyone that submitted questions. Y'all keep them coming. Email me any questions you would like me to answer to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on What in the Duck. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Anchor Screen Printing. Anchor Screen Printing has been printing t-shirts and merch products since 1999. Anchor is the place for quality, small run items. At Anchor, every print is hand done by people who care about art. You can email anchorcustoms@gmail.com to talk about getting something printed for your company, brand, or shop. Anchor Screen Printing also has its own online merch store that sells Elm Street Tattoo, Cheap Thrills, Heart and Hand, Party First Safety Maybe merch, and much more. So go to anchorscreenprinting.com today and buy some cool shit. Or you can click the link provided in this podcast to shop now.